Welcome all. So how are you all doing? Okay, so today we'll be discussing about an essential overview about hantaviruses, which is a group of emerging pathogens that are becoming they are becoming an increasing concern in the global health. But what exactly are hantaviruses? Hantaviruses are a family of RNA viruses that spread primarily from animals to humans. Unlike many common viral infections, these viruses they are not usually transmitted from humans to humans, like from human to human contact, but instead they are zoonotic diseases. What are zoonotic diseases? Meaning they originate from animals, especially rodents like deer mice, cotton rats, and rice rats. Humans can become infected through the exposure to contaminated rodent urine, saliva, or droppings, especially when the tiny viral particles they become airborne and they are inhaled. So although hantaviruses they have existed for decades, climate change, habitat disturbance, and growing rodent populations they contribute to the emergence of new strains in different parts of the world. So in this video, we are going to explore how hantaviruses spread, the diseases they cause, and why new strains are appearing, and the steps we can take to protect ourselves in this changing environment. So let's begin. Understanding how hantaviruses spread is the first step towards prevention. So the most common route of transmission is through a process called as aerosolation. What does that mean? So this occurs when the virus containing particles they are disturbed and then they are the containing particles which is there in the rodent, urine, saliva or droppings when they are disturbed and they get released into the air. And often during cleaning, farming, sweeping or entering abandoned spaces. Okay, so once these microscopic particles are airborne, they can be inhaled into the lungs so that viruses will enter the body. Okay, so unlike highly contagious respiratory viruses, okay, person to person transmission of hantaviruses is extremely rare. Okay, but however, a few strains identified in South America have shown limited human to human spread because of this certain environments which carry a much higher risk of exposure. Okay, so that include the poor ventilated areas like barns, sheds, cabins, storage rooms, rural work sites where rodent activity can go unnoticed. So in places where rodents are there present and the airflow is limited, the chances of inhaling contaminated particles are quite significantly it increases. Okay, chances are higher. Okay. Now the danger of hantaviruses infection often lies in how easily it can be mistaken for something else. So in its early stage, the illness resembles the flu. So you get fever, fatigue, headaches, and severe muscle pain, especially in the large muscle groups like the back, thighs, and shoulders. But in certain patients, the disease will become it will rapidly progress into life-threatening conditions. So in America, the most severe form is the Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome or HPS. So this condition attacks the lungs, causing fluid buildup and severe breathing difficulty. So this can quickly become fatal if you're not having any proper medical support. In Europe and Asia, hantaviruses more commonly cause hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome. It is called HFRS. Okay, so this primarily damages the kidneys and blood vessels. Because both conditions can escalate within just a few days and can lead to the organ failure, early diagnosis and immediate medical care is very important for survival. So this is how the symptoms and progression of hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. You can see here. Okay, the early symptoms, the late symptoms, and then the severe ones. Okay. So why are hantavirus cases? So why are they becoming concerning to like growing concern today, and why are these newly identified strains also becoming increasingly more right now? Okay, Like why are they so okay? Why are they such a big concern today, right? So part of that answer, okay, why are the new strains emerging and why hantaviruses are growing so fast? The one answer is lies in our environment, in our changing environment. Climate change, deforestation, shifting of the weather patterns, they can change the rodent habitats so that can drive rodent populations into new regions. So that can increase the contact between wildlife and humans. Okay. So the animals will spread that into the new territories. The chances of virus spillover and the emergence of new hantavirus strains also increase. But the science is also responding rapidly. Researchers are using advanced genome sequencing and artificial intelligence to detect and monitor the emerging strains in near real time. So by changing the virus's genetic changes, by analyzing the virus's genetic changes, scientists can track the transmission patterns, identify mutations, and even help predict the potential outbreaks before they even spread widely. At the same time, global research teams are also racing to develop effective vaccine, antiviral therapies, and faster diagnostic tools to stay ahead of this evolving viral threat. So ultimately, prevention remains our most powerful defense against hantaviruses. It begins with effective rodent control, okay, sealing openings in the homes, okay, reducing rodent nesting areas, and storing food in rodent-proof containers. When cleaning potentially contaminated spaces, okay, proper safety measures are essential. Never dry sweep or vacuum rodent droppings because this can release the infectious viral particles into the air. Instead, disinfect the area using 10% bleach solution or appropriate disinfectant. So this will allow it to soak thoroughly and wear protective equipments like gloves and a mask while cleaning. Public awareness, early symptom recognition, and rapid medical attention can significantly improve the survival and reduce the severe complications. As we move into the future, hantaviruses remind us how closely human health is concerned and connected to the environment around us. Through global surveillance, scientific research, and proactive prevention strategies, we can reduce the risk of future outbreaks and better protect our communities. So stay informed, stay prepared, and help build a healthier future and safer future for everybody. So thank you everybody. I hope this is informative. Thank you everybody.